Hey everyone, and welcome. So, you're getting ready to tackle a big academic project, maybe a thesis or a dissertation. Well, you've come to the right place. Today, we're going to break down that whole process, from that very first idea all the way to the finished product.
And let's be real for a second. Staring at that huge project ahead of you, it can feel pretty daunting, right? It's so easy to get overwhelmed before you've even typed a single sentence. But what if we decided to look at it in a totally different way?
Instead of this big, scary thing, I want you to think of your research like a construction project. It's a creative process, it's a structured process, and just like any amazing building, it all starts with a rock-solid plan. You know, a blueprint.
So here's the game plan for today. We're going to start with that architect's plan, that's your proposal. Then we'll get into the actual construction of the thesis itself. After that, we'll talk about adding the final polish, and we'll wrap up by looking at the real reason we do all this, your unique contribution to the world. Okay, let's get into it and lay the foundation. Section 1, the architect's plan. See, before you can build anything, you absolutely need a blueprint. And in the world of research, that blueprint is your proposal.
So a research proposal, it's basically the non-negotiable blueprint for your entire project. I mean, think about it. A builder would never ever start laying bricks without a detailed plan, right? And neither should you. This document spells out the what, the why, and the how of your study. It proves your project is doable, important, and really well thought out.
Okay, so we get what it is, but how do you actually craft this thing? Well, it really boils down to two key parts: understanding all the components, and then just following a clear, step-by-step process. Now, don't just see these as a boring list of sections. Think of them like puzzle pieces, and they all have to lock together perfectly. Your problem statement, that points out a specific gap in what we know. The literature review then proves that gap really exists by showing what everyone else has already done. And then, boom, your methodology gives the exact tools you're going to use to fill that gap. See how each piece justifies the next one? It has to create a complete, convincing picture.
And here's the thing. Writing a proposal isn't some giant leap you take all at once. Nope. It's more like climbing a ladder, one rung at a time. You start broad with a topic, then you do some reading to really narrow it down and find your focus. That focus lets you come up with a super specific question. And once you have the question, you can design the perfect method to answer it. Only then, when all those pieces are in place, do you actually start drafting. Each step builds on the one before it. It's a system.
All right, our blueprint is approved. Now it is time for the main event, actually constructing the thesis. This is where the plan becomes the final building.
Now, a thesis is so much more than just a really, really long essay. It is the actual, tangible, documented proof of your original research. Its whole purpose isn't just to rehash what's already out there. It's to contribute something genuinely new. It's about adding your own structure to the skyline of human knowledge.
And just like any solid building, a good thesis has a strong internal framework. This is its anatomy. Your introduction, that's the foundation. The literature review and methodology chapters, those are the load-bearing walls, giving it context and strength. Your results are the core of the whole structure, and the discussion and conclusion, well, that's the roof, tying it all together and explaining what it all means.
You know, the journey of actually making a thesis is a total transformation. It's like a life cycle. It starts out as just a raw idea, a concept. Then it gathers real substance when you're collecting data. It goes through this huge change during analysis, and finally, it comes out the other side in its complete form as you write and structure it.
Now for a part of the process that is so important, but honestly, often gets rushed, the final polish. It doesn't matter if we're talking about the proposal or the final thesis. The real magic happens when you review and refine your work.
So when you're looking over your proposal, your blueprint, you have to be your own biggest critic. You have to ask these tough questions, because listen, a tiny flaw in the blueprint now can cause massive problems during construction later. This is your chance to catch them early.
The big takeaway here? Get other people to look at your plan. Seriously, get feedback, double-check that every part flows logically into the next, and just make that proposal as tough and error-free as you possibly can before you even think about writing Chapter 1.
Now, when it's time to polish the thesis itself, you're looking at things with an even finer lens. You're not checking the blueprint anymore. You're inspecting the finished building. You're looking at the details, how things connect, the flow. Is every single citation perfect? Is the language as clear and precise as it can be?
This really means you have to be relentless with your self-editing. You've got to proofread for every tiny technical detail, and of course, you have to guarantee your work is 100% original by running a plagiarism check. This, right here, is what separates a good thesis from a truly great one.
I love this analogy. Think of yourself as a sculptor. Your first draft, that's not the final product, not even close. That's just the big, rough block of stone. The real work, the editing, the rewriting, that's you chipping away all the excess to reveal the masterpiece that's hiding inside.
So after all that, after the planning, the building, the endless polishing, what's it all for? What have you really accomplished? Let's zoom out for a second and remember the whole point of this journey.
Your thesis is way more than just a piece of paper you need for a degree. It's a bridge. It's a bridge that you designed and that you built. A bridge that connects the solid ground of everything we already know with the brand new territory of what was, until you came along, completely unknown. That is a pretty amazing contribution.
Look, the process might seem overwhelming, but it is a process. It's manageable. You have the blueprint and you have the tools. So the only real question left to ask is, what will you build?